Turning now to your community focus, we are joined once a month here on 12 News at 4 by Providence Mayor Jorge Elorza to talk all things Providence. Mayor, thanks again for being with us.
Great to be on as always.
So you are joining us fresh from signing the plan for how to spend the remaining $124 million in American Rescue Plan Act funding. This money is going towards things like housing, infrastructure, as well as some other measures. I'm curious, how soon and in what ways will residents of the capital city start to see this injection of funds?
Yeah, well, a lot of it is already out there. So
okay.
we've started the work several months ago. This is the second round, so this is the remaining $120 million. And it goes to support a bunch of different really important initiatives. But the most important thing is the housing crisis, really the housing affordability crisis in the city. We need more units at every range, but especially at the affordable level. So we're going to be able to invest in hopefully the creation of hundreds of affordable units, which also allows for the creation of other market units over the coming years. So this is going to be a gift that keeps on giving, and it helps to address one of our most dire needs.
I want to talk more about housing in just a second, but staying on the ARPA funding, there's also included in that plan $10 million for reparations. I know a task force has been meeting to decide how to spend that money exactly, but how soon do you think people are going to see that money in their pockets?
So, well, again, reparations can take a lot of different shapes, and we're leaving it up to the committee to make recommendations. So, look, we know that $10 million is not enough. We can't right all the wrongs of the past, but we could take an important first step. And we'll wait to see what the recommendations are from the committee. If they do recommend some direct cash payments, we'll see. But I think the most important way to invest these dollars is probably in a way that helps build up wealth, and that it also addresses historic discrimination in neighborhoods where, black families, black homeowners were either forced to sell or were prevented from buying homes, in the 1960s and 1970s. But again, these are recommendations for the committee to make. But I'm excited about this because, Providence is on the cutting edge of this. This is a national issue, and we hope to encourage and inspire other levels of government and other institutions to seriously consider reparations as well.
I want to get back to the topic of housing. Some residents in the capital city say they're experiencing sticker shock when it comes to the latest assessments for their homes and how much their taxes are going to go up as a result. My colleague Steph Machado reported that more than half of Providence homeowners would see their taxes go up under your proposed budget. And I know that you cut the tax rate and increased the homestead exemption. But with inflation and the cost of housing being what it is there anything else the city can do to try and ease this burden on folks?
Yeah, well, first of all, houses increasing in value, that's a really good thing, right? Especially if you're a property owner. It's a sign of a healthy and vibrant city that people want to be a part of. Now, if anyone contests and doesn't believe that their property is worth that much, well, we have a whole process. You can appeal it, and we want to get it right. It's all done by an independent firm. So if you think the price is too high, please let us know, and we can adjust it if it is wrong. But I think that at the heart of it, people are concerned about taxes being increased. And it depends on how much your property went up in value. We did reduce the rates, so some people will actually be seeing reductions in taxes. But it's a tough issue. How do you balance it given the limited tools that we had? And frankly, I and my team, we made a policy decision to provide as much relief as possible for resident homeowners, right? People who live on the property. There are a lot of reasons for that, but especially, we're hearing a lot right now that institutional investors are buying properties right now, part of why the price is going up so high. And we want to support the mom and pops, those single family, or not necessarily single family, but families who live in the home and only own one house. With the range of bad decisions, we wanted to choose the decision that gave the most relief to the people who are most invested in the city, and that's people who have purchased homes and people who live here.
Another story from Steph Machado that she published just yesterday. It's been 4 years since the U.S. Department of Justice investigated Providence schools and found it was violating the civil rights of English language learners. And PPSD failed to meet the deadline for complying with the DOJ agreement, which has now been extended. Were you aware that they were behind?
There are a lot of challenges in PPSD right now. The state turnaround is not going well. I've been very vocal about this. The only reason why I advocated for, why the community brought the state in, was so that they could change the contract. And then, of course, last year, as soon as the new governor came in, he immediately reached an agreement with the teachers, essentially gave, conceded to all of the points that they wanted. We got minimal change in the contract. And I've said it several times, without significantly transforming the contract, nothing else matters. I mean, we're fixing our schools. We need more mental, social, emotional supports. We need all these things, more ESL, better teachers, all of that. But unless you address the structural issues, it's going to be the same thing, and we're at risk of losing yet another generation, and that's just unacceptable.
We've got just about a minute left. Early voting began this week for the more than $500 million pension obligation bond, which in addition to voter approval would also require General Assembly approval. Earlier this month, State Treasurer Seth Magaziner asked that there be some additional restrictions put into place. I don't want to get too in the weeds here. Are you open to those? Any that you would say not so fast?
Yeah, and we've actually already made several adjustments that came through his recommendations, it's going through the process right now at the General Assembly. We are literally in the process of making some additional adjustments, different safeguards, to make sure that the city doesn't find itself in this position at some point in the future. But we came up with this plan. There was a team of about 12 or 13 financial experts, people who were really knowledgeable. We worked for 7 months to put it together. We considered all the different options, and we settled on this as not only being the best of the options that are out there, but a pretty darn good option. And so because of that, we're asking all the voters to come out and vote on June 7th. Please vote yes on one and help us save our city.
All right, Providence Mayor Jorge Elorza, that is all the time that we have for today. Thanks as always for being here.